Hello everybody, welcome back for a quick Saturday update. It's kind of nice out here at the moment. Not too bright, not too windy, so figured today we'd take a look at the long-term planting, the fruits, the berries, the permaculture type stuff, and see how it's doing as we're starting our spring of 2018. A little late to be starting spring, but hey, it's Canada. Let's take a look at them fruits and berries. So we'll start with the oldest stuff first. These Saskatoon berries were here when we got here. Judging from our Google Earth stalking, they're at least 2009. But as we can see, they are definitely opening up with life for a new season, which is absolutely wonderful. I was going to trim these down because they are getting more than a little on the tall side. I'd say probably 12 to 15 feet at their peak. But, you know, it just works out better for us to share with the birds, I guess. They can have the really tall stuff, and we'll have whatever we can reach. Quite a few of them sprouting up at the bottom there from just dropped seeds over the years. Kind of thinking about maybe trying to transplant a few more of them just along the front here, absorb some of the moisture that comes in. But they get so tall, and I don't know if I necessarily want them shading out the garden. Can always trim them down, but am I likely to actually do that? That becomes the question. So over here in Shox's Fairy Garden, we had that apple tree. We brought it down. They're not necessarily a tasty apple, and thought it would be more fun just letting her explore that space. So not going to bother putting anything back in there. These apple trees are not happy trees, and again, not necessarily a delicious apple. So kind of think more and more as the years go by that these are both going to come down. And looking at the base of this one, it is clearly not a healthy tree. So here, applewood is good for smoking meats. That might be the destiny of this tree here. The crabapple behind it, I was kind of hoping would actually come back to life in a few places for me. Doesn't really look like it's going to happen though, and again we've got quite the cavern going on in there. That has definitely gotten bigger since last time I was checking that out. So yeah, not a whole lot of growth going to happen beyond that. So that's the vast majority of the available tree. Then we've got this here that kind of shoots into oblivion. I was thinking it would be kind of fun to run around town taking cuttings from whatever fruit trees I can find and maybe trying to graft them onto this. But yeah, again, I tend to think the future of this tree is for smoking assorted meats. But yeah, so those are the established fruit trees and bushes that we move here to. Let's check out the ones we brought from BC and planted ourselves. Start here by the evening porch where I clearly still need to work the ground, but you can see this red currant seems to have lots of little leaf bud formations starting on it. They're not really opening up yet, but I am very hopeful. Oh, here's one. Looks like we've got some green opening up in there. So yay, it survived another winter. And we got a few berries off that last year. Not necessarily it's $4 worth, but it doesn't take a lot to make $4 these days, price of fruit. So this year we'll probably finish that off. Brings us to our goji berries. Those thorns are definitely getting more pronounced as time goes by. Not seeing a lot of green on that one yet, or any for that matter. Check the other one beside it here. As I recall, these were kind of late to show last year too, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. They clearly grew since they were planted. This is their third spring here, second in the ground, I think. So they'll probably come back. Have yet to get fruit from these guys, but I'm willing to wait a little while longer. Brings us to our honeyberry bushes. This one's definitely opening up. Lots of signs of life on there. I think I've considered this bush dead on a couple of occasions already. Quite sturdy, quite impressed with that. Haven't gotten much fruit off of here. The ones we got tasted really cool, kind of weird. So I'm very hopeful, but you know, it's a long-term investment with these fruit bushes for the most part. The gooseberry was nice and cheap, the currant was nice and cheap, but the rest of these are a waiting game. Here's what the Borealis haskap. Definitely got to come in here and clean up these grasses from its base. But again, we've got lots of signs of fresh life for the 2018 garden season. So yeah, I'm very hopeful we'll get some fruit off this. It's about the same age as the other one there, although it's only supposed to get about half the size, so that's kind of why this one's on the south face and that one's down a little more north there. Fire pit, time to clean that up. Fire ban right now though, so can't really play with it, just gotta clean it. Then moving past the fire pit brings us to the long shed, where we've got the smoky Saskatoon that we brought with us. This has definitely grown, and definitely has lots of fresh green signs of life. Fantastic. A few berries off of that would be great. I've always been a huge fan of Saskatoon berries. I guess what? Service berries, Logan berries, June berries, they got lots of names. Always going to be Saskatoons to me though. On the other side of the tree here we've got that gooseberry. This little bush is just spreading right out. That is so exciting to me. Lots of bright green starts in there. Good to see, good to see. Got a few fruit off this last year. It's a very interesting taste. A few more and we'll get that $4 investment. After that it's all profit, right? Plunk it into the ground and just kind of wait. Harvest as you go. And then finally that brings us to last year's edition. We've got our little cherry tree, maybe a few inches taller than me, so just over 6 feet right now. Kind of thoroughly abused it before I got around to planting it last year. Got dried out way too many times, and yet sure looks like it survived the winter. Sure looks like it's starting out for a good spring. Don't expect any fruit off of this, but again, with the price of fruit, I mean, cherries are not cheap. This was what, 35, 40 bucks for the tree. Once it starts putting out, I figure that's a good solid investment. Want to get a few more trees and bushes going this year. Maybe put another tree about where that potato bunker is. Figure that out. Pears would be nice. Plums would be good. Really all kind of depends on what's in the budget and what's in the nursery at the time when we actually get around to going and seeing what's available. So who knows? Doesn't really matter what we add. Anything is good for the long-term investment of the property. We're trying to get as much as we can back from the land and planting those trees and shrubs and such. Well, that's just one way to get it back. And it's kind of a lazy man's gardening because you don't have to work anywhere near as hard with those as you do with, say, the peppers or the tomatoes. So yeah, on that note, we'll take a look at everything going in the basement, which is mostly peppers and tomatoes, and all of that stuff tomorrow. So usual Sunday update. I will see you guys then. Take care, everybody.